And we have a lot to get to this morning. We're going to begin with the Republican chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Ohio Congressman Mike Turner. Welcome back to Face the Nation.
Morning, Margaret.
Chair Turner, last week, as you know, there were federal immigration arrests of these 8 individuals with suspected ties to ISIS. They were rounded up in Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and New York. They traveled from Central Asia, Tajikistan, across the southern border into the U.S. Do you have any indication that there is an active terror plot?
Well, Margaret, I can neither confirm nor deny all the details that you've just reported. But what's important about these reports and what we're seeing, especially in conjunction with Director Wray's public statements that we are at the highest level of a possible terrorist threat, that the administration's policies have absolutely, directly related to threats to Americans. These are no longer speculative, no longer hypothetical. And we have actual administration officials stepping forward, and certainly our committee and our committee members have concurred on the intelligence that we're seeing, that as a result of the administration's policies allowing people to cross the border unvetted, we have terrorists that are actively working inside the United States that are a threat to Americans.
Well, the issue, as we understand it from our reporting, is that there was vetting, but that the vetting didn't turn up any derogatory information. Doesn't that indicate that there's a broader problem with the system that Congress would also have to address?
Well, Margaret, as you know, there are those who are vetted, and in the vetting process, there is not evidence the United States currently has that they're actively engaged in terrorist plotting or engaged with terrorist groups or organizations. And this administration, by their own policy, are then allowing those individuals in instead of fully vetting them, fully understanding what the risk is to the United States, and for the fact that they're letting them in and they're entering the United States through the southern border illegally. And that's what the threat is. That's what Director Wray is identifying and is bringing forward. This administration's policies are directly resulting in people who are in the United States illegally, who have ties to terrorist groups and organizations, and this is a threat.
The U.S. has already been in a heightened threat environment, but this past week, our CBS colleague and the former Deputy CIA Director Mike Morell wrote a piece in Foreign Affairs warning that the United States faces a serious threat of a terrorist attack in the months ahead. He called on congressional intelligence committees, like the one you chair, to have public hearings with the Director of National Intelligence, the CIA, the FBI, and the National Counterterrorism Center. Will you commit to doing that?
Well, we have. In fact, the testimony that you just
public unclassified information from those individuals.
The testimony that you just played of Director Wray was a result of the intelligence committees, including mine. Director Wray was testifying before my committee and said exactly the same thing publicly of the threat. What we have done and continue to do, and what this administration needs to be held to, is that they need to declassify the information of the terrorist threats that they're seeing so that there can be a public discourse concerning what the administration's risks and threats are. This was noble and expected as a result of the Biden administration's policy of an open southern border, and we are seeing it absolutely across the country. My committee has been open, my members have been open, and publicly discussing this threat and pointing the finger directly at the administration's policies.